All right, George, we're here at breakfast. Fake news is on behind you.
Well, I thought, people are asking, hey, could you just kind of, model this out because it's starting to get complicated. And I admit this is complicated, but it's intentionally complicated by the. If you're running a large rat line, especially drugs, you don't want to actually be caught. You want to keep all the money. So you want to put it into Malaysia, the 40 billion that I've spoken about before with Gulan. Right now, for instance, John Podesta is buying up artwork between every Jewish art dealer.
How do we know that?
I have a contact within the French intelligence that has
Oh,
told me that.
wow.
Okay, so he's buying up artwork right now, and they know every art dealer that he's buying art from, and he's trying. What you do when Trump could go get that $40 billion right now and seize those assets. So before a new FBI director is named, McCabe knows all about the 40 billion there. You start moving this stuff to gold, diamonds, artwork, and so forth, and you put it in your network. You shard it out into many different countries as possible. So it'll be so difficult to actually go seize. You're going to have a contractual issue or an international issue every time you try to go get some of this stuff that's being moved. The money right now is being moved by John Podesta to artwork, diamonds, and gold. Okay, that's really not what I wanted to make the video about, but I throw that in there.
Okay.
I just want to show people kind of with using these little kitchen or the breakfast accessories, kind of the network. So imagine this is NATO headquarters in Mons, Belgium. Now I could be wrong. It could be a different spot in Belgium, but this is because Chandalone was here. I'm going to say it's Mons, but this is an aircraft carrier, or an aircraft. This is like a C-130 or a Hercules heavy lift or Titan lift or whatever, but it's going to be something that's big and can carry a lot of stuff. Now, you can fly airplanes around in NATO countries, and there's no way to. It's all a BlackBerry network. I know Blackberries. You're going to see Bouchard has a BlackBerry. It's going to be talking about Muammar Gaddafi and the bombing campaign, and he's going to be typing on his BlackBerry. Somebody's going to find that picture. Anyway, you can break information down in the BlackBerry to the general and have this whole thing I'm about ready to talk to you about just available to the people on the rat line. Okay, so now I'm going to fly this plane to Incirlik Air Force Base in Turkey. It's in Western Turkey. Okay, if you remember the coup, the Gulen coup, with Michael Flynn, and Michael Flynn will be able to confirm this. They're flying drugs between Belgium and Incirlik. The reason is Turkey is a NATO country. Okay, now this over here is Afghanistan. Can you see this?
Yeah.
This is Afghanistan, and this is Pakistan. Okay. Now here are all these poor farmers that USAID is teaching how to grow poppies. Okay. We do a drug interdiction every once in a while, and we get one. We say, okay, there's no more drugs. If you look at the UN reports, we're at an all-time high in opium production. Okay. The stuff is moved over into Pakistan. I believe that you're going to have two things being made in Pakistan. You're going to have synthetic drugs being made in Faisalabad, not Islamabad. I think you got your finger there. So, like all the stuff that you would sell to the VA, which is oxycodone and all the opiate-based painkillers. Okay, this is the VA. This is going to be VA mainly, but also nursing homes, managed care homes, critical care, and hospice care. But basically people who don't know that they're getting half-strength drugs. I think this is going to be half-strength drugs or quarter-strength drugs. Okay, this is the Javid network, if you will, and it's going toward USA. We're going to be going that direction. The USA. This is going to be Washington D.C. just for the keep things simple. Okay, so now I'm going to fly. The reason why you have to have NATO involvement. The reason why you have to have NATO involvement is I need an excuse to fly the NATO plane here, okay, to Pakistan, to Kandahar, or to Afghanistan, okay. The reason why we're talking about NATO here is you don't want to pay for the rat line. You want somebody else to pay for the rat line. You want NATO to pay for the rat line. So you not only get the planes, but you get the crew, plus you get the secure communications network to run the rat line. Now, everybody's going to say, this is a crazy theory, and no, this is crazy. No, it's just Mina Airport on a worldwide scale. It's the same way that when Hillary first goes in, it gets put onto a national scale for the U.S. Now this is just Mina Airport worldwide. Okay? It's very simple. Drugs go one way, arms go the other way. So I look at it not just means and motive, because everybody says, oh, what's the means and motive in a prosecutorial situation? I also look at modus operandi and metadata. If you think it's crazy, don't listen to me, don't listen to any human testimony, do modus operandi and metadata.
It's the same MO as Iran-Contra.
Well, this is Iran-Contra, except going north and south, it's going east and west. That's all it is the compass just turns. Okay, so now let me explain what's happening. I believe it's Faisalabad, is where because it's a national medical school based in Punjab, because the Awans control, Muhammad Shah, the father now, controls that area. I think the Bowl of Huggies is going to be a new medical facility built across the street. The reason why they said Bowl of Huggies is no one knows where Bowl of Huggies is. Across the street is going to be a medical complex. It's the National Medical College of Pakistan. So you're going to have all these doctors there, you're going to have all these chemists there that know all about drug refinement and so forth. And I believe the property is going to be just on the other side of the highway. I've got a guy working on that, but I don't have exactly where the Bowl of Huggies are yet. But anyway, that's where you're going to be making your synthetic drugs. I also think you're going to be doing a reduction of the opium down to a morphine or something like that. I don't have the details. But anyway, we're going to load them up into the C-130. Okay, sorry, we just lost about $18 million.
Morphine, yeah.
Yeah, that's each one of these. I mean, you could do the weight, but at Hercules, somebody's going to calculate the weight of what a C-130 can carry. And it's just going to be an amazing, I'll just do 3 and 3. It's going to be an amazing amount of weight. That's why I say when you're talking about Offutt Air Force Base, the amount carried is going to be an incredible amount. I'm sorry this is a little bit childish, but sometimes people say, break this down for me, because it's getting very complicated. It really isn't as complicated as you think. Just think Mina Airport on a global scale. It's just longer distances, that's all we're talking about. So I fly the C-130 or the Hercules, and you can talk to different folks and see if I'm right about this. But I stop off in Encirclic, I do something. They're probably doing something and adding something in, but I don't know what they're adding in Turkey. It could be hashish from Morocco, who knows? Doesn't matter. Now there could be an overland route here that I don't know about. I'm just talking about the Chandelon route, what I'm going to call the Chandelon route. So the Chandelon route is up to Mons headquarters. Now you're going to unload about half of this. This is why the basmati rice was coming through Belgium. Okay, I don't know if people remember back to the basmati rice, but they were ordering it from Pakistan going through Belgium, through Antwerp, which doesn't make any sense at all. That was metadata that was provided by a researcher. Drop half of the synthetic drugs off. You run NATO now, and now you run what drugs the veterans of NATO are getting. So you're giving them your half strength or quarter strength Oxycontin, and then you're also, this is your illegal drug network. You're doing that for your, French Connection type thing. And if you want to go back to the original French Connection, that was Hellawell, 1947 with the CIA. You see my other thing about that. Now I'm going to make the trip from Mons to Washington, D.C. The way I tap into the NATO BlackBerry network, is through Office of Naval Intelligence. This is going to be, now the only reason I'm saying it's Office of Naval Intelligence is I'm just following dead bodies. I'm following the dead bodies of Aaron Alexis. I think he does shoot his supervisor, but then there's going to be 7 or 8 other people that are killed in that thing that are involved in this rat line. Also the DC shooter with Lee Malvo. I don't know if people remember that, but about the sniper, the Washington DC sniper, about the 4th or 5th person killed was a woman who worked in naval intelligence in that office. So this is going to be the office right down there by the Washington Harbor, where the Office of Naval Intelligence is. So you can look where Aaron Alexis did the shooting, but that was a cover for this. So anyway, I control DC. Debbie Wasserman Schultz proved that yesterday. I control DC, and I can't remember.
She could barely control herself.
She's threatening the assistant director of the Capitol Police because she doesn't have the control of the Capitol Police like she does have control of the DC captain. She controls
DC Metro. She controls.
DC Metro is controlled. DC Mayor.
That's why they're covering up the Seth Rich murder.
Yeah, and that's just a side case. This is the big fish here.
Right.
Okay.
But that's why she's got the ability to get them to cover it up.
Yeah, they've had the same congresswoman. It's not Mosley. I can't remember. It's something Norton, Holmes.
What's the
Norton.
jurisdiction of the Capitol Police? Just stuff that happens with Congress?
I think they have Capitol grounds. I think that's all they have is just Capitol grounds. They were behind the they were behind the Hart Senate building, I believe. And I think there's a Capitol district. That'd be a good question for the Webb. I don't know what the actual cutover and jurisdiction is, but I know the Capitol Police had jurisdiction with the Awan brothers. Okay, and the Awan brothers is the secret to this network. Seth Rich is just one of 100 cases that are going to be solved on this one. Okay, so where was I? Okay, Office of Naval Intelligence. This is why Wayne Madsen lashed out at me. This is why. Anyway, it's going to be naval intelligence because I'm just following the dead bodies. It's just that simple. I'm not a genius. It's just, why would I kill 8 people in the in the Navy Yard, Washington Navy Yard? Plus, they control the harbor there as well. They're going to have other stuff, lower grade stuff, and I don't know what that is. Sometimes it's poppy stem or something coming in through the rice. This is going to be the long, slow route. It's not going to be as valuable. It's going to be coming into the harbor, but that's another one I haven't figured out yet. But that's basically the rat line. That's the rat line. And it's going to be through the Blackberries. So if Trump wants to solve this thing, just go to the Blackberries at Office of Naval Intelligence and look inside. Look at the communications. Look at the C-130 traffic that's going this way and this way. Look at planes going through Incirclic. It's always going to be Incirclic to either Kandahar or somewhere in Punjab. I don't know what the airport is, but it's going to be somewhere in Punjab. That's it.